Lamar Jackson's contract is coming up, and right now there's been a report that they are far in terms of their contract negotiations because, if you're Lamar Jackson, you are an MVP. You are looking at getting that Deshaun Watson, Mahomes / Russell Wilson type of money. And what do you feel about that? If you are the Ravens GM, are you giving Lamar Jackson that big of a contract? Where are you? Where do you stand in this?
Well, I'm a little bit skeptical on giving anybody big time contracts. Even when Patrick Mahomes signed his mega deal, one of my first thoughts was they're going to be in a really tough spot in 5 years when they have to re-sign a lot of that talent and build a team around him, because football is a 53-man roster and you need 22 guys to play at a starter level for you every week. And it's tough to fill out a roster when you're paying a guy $500 million over 10 seasons. But I would give Lamar Jackson what he wants. He's a franchise quarterback. There's no question in my mind. And although I think they need to put pieces around him, it would be worse to lose him and have the money than give him the money and have to penny pinch to fill out around him. It's a really good problem to have, to be in a tough cap situation and have one of the better quarterbacks in the league, rather than not have the quarterback and have all the money in the world.
He's a great quarterback, but I would not give him Watson or Wilson or Mahomes type of money. I would not at all. And if we're far in the contract negotiations, and so be it, because if anything, I could franchise Lamar and I could have him playing under that for a while, but I'm not giving him big time money. And even though I would take Lamar Jackson over Josh Allen, because I think he's been better to this point, Lamar Jackson has been 1-3 in the playoffs. He's had stinkers against Tennessee his second year, against the Chargers his first year, and against the Bills this past year. He has not played up to his full potential. And yes, the number one wide receiver argument can be made, but at the end of the day, Lamar sometimes misses reads. So I'm saying this. Because of his playoff record, because he's thrown 3 touchdowns and 5 interceptions in the playoffs, I would not give him big time money, because when the lights are the brightest, how do you perform? And when I've seen him drop back over 40 times a game and have to really win games with his arm, come from behind when they are not dominating on the ground game, I have not seen the Ravens pull out wins. And in 2019, he had a 17.5% bad throw percentage. In 2020, that was 17.6. So obviously it was pretty similar, but still, there's sometimes where Lamar just misses guys, especially down the field, especially outside the numbers. That's where he's more inaccurate. And he got pressured more in 2020. And what do you need if you're a quarterback? An offensive line. What can't you really get if you pay a quarterback big-time money? You can't build a team around it. You can't get him an elite offensive line. If Lamar doesn't have an elite offensive line, what is that going to turn into? That's going to turn into him running more. That's going to turn into them not being able to run that many design running plays because the offensive line is bad, them not being a great running team, them having to rely on Lamar Jackson's arm to win games. They probably won't be able to go out and sign number one wide receiver. They'd have to really hit on the draft. Their defense is going to take a huge hit as well. Because of that, I just wouldn't give Lamar Jackson big-time money. And the biggest question of them all, is he going to get injured? Because he's taken a lot of hits on a week-to-week basis. We've seen Cam Newton win the MVP, and it seems ever since then his career has went downhill. Is that going to happen to Lamar Jackson the more he keeps on taking these hits? Because of that, I wouldn't give Lamar Jackson that type of money. I wouldn't commit that type of money to Lamar Jackson and give him that type of contract. Mahomes got it because he won a Super Bowl. That's why. Wilson has won a Super Bowl. Watson has not won it, but this past season, he proved he deserved it with that dysfunctional organization in the Texans and him putting up those crazy numbers with a bad roster. I mean, he made guys like Chad Hansen guys to look out for on Sundays. Chad Hansen had a 100-yard receiving game. We don't even know who that is. That's Deshaun Watson. Could Lamar do the same? I don't think he could.
I definitely do think Lamar has elevated this Ravens team, though. And I'm with you on the injury thing. The durability is definitely a concern. But for me, and if you're going to say franchise tag him, I'm with that. And that way you could look at it and see how much he progresses over the next year, next 2 years. I think that would be a smart plan. But if you're talking about giving him a contract or not giving him a contract, I just wonder if you're going to find better at the quarterback position and where you're going to find it. Is it going to be through free agency, through the draft? And then you're relying a lot on your scouting team to find a new quarterback, which is the toughest position to replace on the field, in my opinion. So I don't know. If it came to either giving him an extension or not giving him an extension, personally, I would give him the money.
I mean, you could do it, but
it depends on the price tag. I wouldn't give him Mahomes money. I didn't even know if I would have given Mahomes money, because that is
I would have given Mahomes
contract,
money.
But,
I mean, it's $40 million a year, $40 to $47 million.
So what do you think Lamar is asking for?
He's asking for that. That's exactly what I think he's asking for.
I'm not giving him that, but it's tough because I don't think he deserves. I don't know that anybody outside of Mahomes and Watson, I don't even know if I would say Wilson also deserves it, but outside of those three guys, I don't know that anybody in football deserves that kind of money. And that's not a knock on Lamar Jackson.
That's the quarterback position. I will say this: if the Ravens do decide to pay him that much, they are not going to win a Super Bowl with Lamar Jackson. And I think they're going to use this year to feel it out, because they're not going to. I don't think they're going to extend him this offseason. Because if Lamar Jackson gets hurt, then that is probably going to change. It's probably going to change their minds on things, and hopefully he doesn't. But that injury concern with Lamar Jackson is very real, and because of that, I would be very hesitant to give Lamar Jackson big-time money, because I'm not sure how durable he's truly going to be.
My question, though, is anybody going to give him that kind of money?
Yeah.
Like, I think I don't know if he'll get that type of money.
Yes,
anywhere.
He will. Yes, he will. Yes, he will. If it's not, I mean, that's just me saying it. I think the Ravens will give it to him, but he will get that money from a different number of places. Dak Prescott's going to get big time money in free agency if he hits the open market from Washington. You know, that's been a rumor. Lamar Jackson, former MVP, is definitely getting that type of money. As long as he's healthy, he's not injured, he's going to get this type of money. Like, no doubt about it.